And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will proceed into our panel discussion. His Excellency has humbly agreed to remain and join this next conversation on AI and eHealth innovation. So what we'll do is introduce the panel speakers, just follow the same format that we did yesterday, and we will finally invite our moderator as well. So on this panel, we have, of course, His Excellency Dr. Jakaya Kikwete, former Tanzanian president, in case you didn't know. We also have
Siddartha from Artificial Intelligence Manager from Fondation Botnar. And we also have Kidus Fisaha, Asfaw, GPL, UNICEF Innovation.
We also have Ms. Erica Leah, CEO of D-Tree, and our moderator, ladies and gentlemen, will be Dr. Hassan Mshinda, who is a consultant also with Fondation Botnar. So could we all have the panelists and our moderator join us up on stage? A round of applause from all of you. As they come on, remember we will still be having our workshops later today. We have the Facebook workshop, which unfortunately is full. So next time we tell you to register early, register. GSMA will also be running a workshop this afternoon, as well as VC for Africa. So if you need any further information, please let us know, and we will get it to you as soon as possible.
And we do have our sponsors today. As usual, we have IBM. We also have World Food Program, Facebook, and we also have Liquid Telecom, Fondation Botnar, and the Swiss Embassy. Now, without any further ado, Mr. Work Your Magic, as we're about to start our conversation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So let me take this opportunity, first of all, to welcome you all to this very important session. As you have heard from His Excellency, the effort we have made during his term as a president of putting up the optic fiber infrastructure to the country and connecting it to the submarine cable. That was actually a very important contribution, and it's a very important step towards really starting to talk about innovation at the data age. When we talk about innovation for data age, we're actually talking about the essential elements of the fourth industrial revolution. And the fourth industrial revolution is basically convergence of using the technology, the convergence between physical, digital, and biological, which means then we can do a lot more than previous revolution. So we have the opportunity now to leapfrogging, something which has never occurred during first industrial revolution. For those who have remember, it took more than almost 70 years a tractor to move from the invention to reach Africa. Electricity has not yet reached in many parts of the countries. But we have made substantial progress on the mobile phone. Mobile penetration mobile phones now are basically ubiquitous in all over Africa. More people now have mobile phones than any other technology. The big question is, how can we take advantage of this technology to leapfrog? Another very important thing which has happened is the innovation is no longer taking place in the north. We are starting to see innovation taking place in the south, solving the south problems. And from these ones, then especially mobile phones, there are a lot of other things. When Irene was asking His Excellency about the use of technology in his farm, I wish they will have time, Your Excellency, to visit the Wazi, where when you grow the pineapples, you'll be able to know while you're sitting at home, to know whether they have irrigated, whether the drip irrigation is actually working. You are not going to call. You will also be able to see it. If some of your cattle move, somebody has come and take it away, you'll be able to see it, to know it, and really identifying that. This is because of the infrastructure which you have actually established, and our young people now are using the infrastructure to innovate, to solve some of the issues which we are been facing. So in this panel discussion, I'm going to have first starting with the problem we have posed, remaining problem, which is to tackle maternal mortality. And I will ask the first speaker, Eric, to tell us what is DITRI doing to solve that problem using the technology. And then we'll now enter into the second phase, understanding the opportunities which are emerging for the fourth industrial revolution in terms of artificial intelligence. And we are fortunate to have Kidus from Innovation Venture UNICEF will also say something about it. And then we'll also say what are the opportunities to you guys to be able to snatch. And then Siddartha from Botnar Foundation, what are the opportunities, what is the foundation is doing, and how can the foundation also assisting you guys to apply some of these advanced technology to solve our developmental challenge, which is really doing good for, you can do to do good, which Kidus will operate. So let me start with DITRI. Can you, Erica, can you say something about this DITRI and how do you tackle the problem of maternal mortality? And His Excellency has also talked about education. What are you really doing on early education in this country?
Sure, thanks very much. And His Excellency gave a wonderful presentation and I think highlighted a lot of the potential as well as the challenges that are here in Tanzania. DITRI International is a digital health organization and we've been working closely with the government both in mainland Tanzania as well as Zanzibar for more than 10 years now. And our mission is to try to figure out how digital technology can be integrated into health systems in order to tackle some of the biggest challenges that we're facing. So to use this innovation and really look at how we can transform health systems to reduce maternal mortality, child mortality, and make sure that everybody has a chance to thrive and reach their full health outcomes as well as education attainment. I'll just give an example of some work that we've been doing with the government of Zanzibar since 2011 to highlight some of the ways that digital technology is really transforming health systems. So DITRI has been working with the government for 7 years now, really to demonstrate ways that digital technology can be used at the front lines of healthcare to improve maternal and child health. We've developed digital tools together with the government that follow ministry guidelines that allow community health volunteers to manage and support households in their communities in order to provide education, counseling, and referral coordination to health facilities. Through this time, and I'll explain some details later, but we've demonstrated that this approach, using technology, equipping these health workers with digital tools, has led to increases in facility delivery rates by 50% and 4-fold increases in postpartum follow-up, which are critical indicators for the ministry to be improving maternal and child mortality. Partly because of this demonstration and the way that we've been able to work together with the ministry to really show what it means to use technology on the front lines, the ministry is now working to expand their community health program to create a formal cadre of community health volunteers on a national scale to support maternal health, child health, reproductive health, surveillance, and many other areas. And we're able to support the government in that initiative, with funding through Fondation Botnar, Human Development Innovation Fund, and the Gates Grand Challenges. And what we're doing right now is we're helping them to coordinate this new system. What the government is doing in Zanzibar is really, I would say, very revolutionary. And as Hassan mentioned, there's an opportunity to leapfrog with technology. And so instead of designing this system by looking at paper tools and registers and then thinking how technology could replicate those paper registers, the government is actually starting digital first. And that means that we can start asking different questions. We can start with a question of how can technology transform healthcare? And once we've figured out the best way to do that, then we can worry about the data that should come out of that system. And so that's really reframing the way that this system is being designed. Community health volunteers are really serving as the front line in the health system throughout Zanzibar. And so they are registering households. They are really coordinating care for individuals in order to make sure that they're accessing health services and that they're reaching their full potentials. And the way that this is possible really is because we're able to use smart digital technology to help guide and coordinate their work, which simply wouldn't be possible with paper-based systems. The way we see it, there's really four main areas that the digital technology is improving this access and quality of health services. At the community level, we see that care is becoming personalized, and that's something that I've been hearing throughout the conference yesterday and today. We're seeing that care is more proactive, and from a systems level, the system is now performance-driven as well as predictive, and I'll just explain very briefly what we mean by that. So from the community level, health workers are able to personalize the care that they're providing. That means that when a woman is pregnant, the health worker is able to go through a list of questions within the app, and it will tailor her birth plan to her specific needs. So we can identify risk factors. We can look at her obstetric history, and through algorithms, the technology can help determine which level health facility she should deliver at, which particular facility is closest to her village that she can get to, and then the system can calculate how much money does she need to save for transportation, for other delivery expenses, and link her to drivers in her community so that that woman's birth plan is unique and tailored to her circumstances, which is different from her neighbor and others in her community. And that's possible because the smart technology is supporting that in her, so that the health worker can focus on providing good care.
So thank you very much. Kidus, can you tell us two things? What are you doing at UNICEF in New York in terms of innovation?
Well, first off, I have a question for the crowd. Who knows what UNICEF does? What is the one thing UNICEF does? Just shout it out. Did I hear children? Yeah. Yes. So we're an organization that works for the rights of children and their mothers. That's all we do. And we've been doing this for 70 years, working with leaders like His Excellency to make sure that everything that he's spoken about is achieved for the well-being of children. Now, I work with the innovations team, and what we try to do is provoke our organization in thinking how technology and new ways of working can help us do that work better. What keeps us up at night is probably that figure that I just saw behind everyone. It says 29% of the world's youth population will be in Africa in 2050. But do you know what's even scarier? 70% of the world's youth will be in urban areas by that same year. And we're probably not ready to address the challenges and maybe even meet the opportunities that come through that. And we really try to think about that really seriously. So there's probably two things that we're doing. One of them is realizing that it's not UNICEF who's going to come up with the solution. We're not a technology company. We work to fight for the rights of children. But you in the crowd are the entrepreneurs. You're the ones who are on the ground, understanding the challenges and understanding what is possible with the technologies that are here for you to address those challenges. So we decided to set up a venture fund that could seed companies like yourself that have very meaningful, very adaptable technology solutions to help children and their mothers. The second thing that we're doing is preparing for the day when most of our work is going to be facing the challenges of the urban world. And in order to do that, we know the private sector has a really big role to play. As His Excellency mentioned, if by that time, half of the job that we know today is gone, it's great that a child is healthy. It's great that that adolescent is well educated. It's very wonderful that they have the right skills. But if they don't have the opportunity to put that into effect to make themselves very valuable citizens, we're still facing very, very deep challenges. And that is why we are working with the private sector to find those solutions that enable us to give young people the right technical solutions and skills, making sure that companies all over the world are really thinking through how we're creating opportunities not only in Europe and the US, but also here in Tanzania. We have major partnerships in order to do that. Now, if I have 2 minutes, there's probably two things I want to leave you with here today. We've been around for about 10 years as a team, and we've massively failed over and over and over again, and we're very proud of that, because I can sit here today and tell you how we've done that. Let me give you 2 ways that you stay as very principled startups. Principles really matter. First, know your user. If you don't know who you're creating a solution for, it's great that your mobile app looks nice. It's great that all of the cool algorithms and AI that you're creating are cutting edge. But if that can't reach citizens in Tanzania and Dar es Salaam or even in Zanzibar, what's the use? What have you really achieved? Secondly, don't think your solution will solve everything, but make sure it solves something. When Google was started, it tried to do one thing. It tried to make information accessible to everyone. That is why Google search is what we know of it today. But it does many things today, nowadays, but that is what they tried to solve, and they did it very well. If you keep your eye on the prize of doing one thing, solving one problem very, very well, that is when you've actually innovated. Because innovation at the end of the day is doing something new and different that adds concrete value. And we're really hoping you could do that. Thank you.
Okay, but can I provoke you to, most of these companies, they are thinking to make money. And what do you think about social enterprises? Are we here just to make money?
It's a really great question. We have a saying in our team: doing good is good business. You have to make money. You're not here to be a charity. But when you are making that money, when you are driving value, make sure that value is helping society. That is the only way that you are going to be able to succeed in your business, but that's also how your community succeeds through your business. Just coming back to what I mentioned with Google, how many of you use Google search on a day-to-day? Right? How many of you try to learn something new through Google, maybe even at school? Now, Google is a business. It makes a lot of money, but it's benefiting us here as a society. And that is the type of ethos that we're trying to instill, that you are thinking about social problems, but at the same time, you're making sure that your business is driving value.
So, Siddartha, can I ask you the question? What opportunities do you think AI offer to solve some of these challenges? And what's need to be done for some of the innovations to make sure that they are actually going to reach and acceptable by the authority?
Thank you, Hassan, for that question. As we all know, artificial intelligence is one of the very important components of the fourth industrial revolution, making possible endless opportunities for the entire world. Here, one of the problems that was alluded to was in the health sector, the work which Dietrich and Erika are doing at the community level. So I see a great opportunity for artificial intelligence to sort of address the shortfall in the health workers that we are facing globally, and especially in this part of the world, and which is set to grow in the future. So doctors are physical right now, but in the future, you can have access to doctors in the smartphone. And that future is almost there. We have some innovators here sitting in the room who are doing it in Tanzania. And there is a lot of innovation going in this direction in Europe and North America. One of the key things for the Foundation Botnar is to bring these innovations here to Tanzania to make sure that they speak also the local language. So one of our key works is supporting artificial intelligent healthcare apps so that they speak Swahili and other languages, so everyone can have access to them through their smartphones. But also to support community health workers in projects of D3 to help them with decision support and training so that we can use the digital backbone that has been created and use the artificial intelligence technology on top of it to sort of provide them with the information that they need to do their work better. We believe in using local drivers to strengthen local health ecosystems from the bottom up. That's one of the core things that we in the foundation are looking at. So this entire area of healthcare is going to be disrupted by the advances in artificial intelligence, and we are here to catalyze that innovation with stakeholders like you, encouraging innovators like you in places like this, like Sahara Sparks, or also through competitions that we run online, the Botnar Challenge for adolescents in healthcare using advanced technology. If you want to know more about it, join our workshop later. So we want to encourage local innovation to address some of these questions. What we also do is engage with world bodies like WHO and ITU to make sure that the local voice is heard. And we request you to do the same. A lot is happening in the AI ecosystem at the moment. For example, a lot of benchmarking is going on in focus groups at ITU and WHO. And it's extremely important that there is local representation there. And it's open to everyone. So innovators like you who are developing AI solutions for healthcare and education should represent the country there. What is one thing that I would like to mention is one of the key things to sort of enable this AI revolution that is upon us is a healthy data ecosystem. Because there's this catchword that AI is data hungry. AI needs data to sort of work, to solve problems. And right now that data is to a huge extent being generated in Europe, in North America. So the value that is being created is for those continents. It's very important that we create healthy data ecosystems in places like Tanzania or in East Africa, and so that local innovators can use that to create value for local populations. And doing that with His Excellency mentioned his vision about the optic fiber network and how we are reaping the fruits of that right now. So investing in healthy data ecosystems and encouraging AI innovation to use that to create value for Tanzania, I think it's going to go a long way to help solve our problems here. Yeah.
Yes. Can you inform the audience about the Botnar Challenge and the outcome and what you are planning to do in the next few minutes in the workshop?
Yes, so we had this competition focused on adolescents. That's one of the focuses of the Botnar Foundation, adolescents and children, and using technology and AI especially to help solve healthcare and well-being problems in urban environments for these adolescents. So we ran a competition, and there are some winners who are going to present their solutions using artificial intelligence later So if you want to know more about that, please come to our design workshop to sort of find out how you can engage with Foundation Botnar and how we can help local innovators to solve the problems that are here. Yeah.
So Your Excellency, some of these innovations on AI, actually 2 companies from Tanzania participated, and something which you will never believe, that even when people, if it's scaring, if 50% of, if jobs the automation will come, then somehow more than 50% jobs will change. But there are potential, there are talents within the country in terms of developing solutions, as shown by these 2 companies. I know one company is actually participating in the event in Amsterdam, so which means it's basically as talent. What can you say after listening to all these experts saying and what is happening? Thank you.
Well, I'm thrilled that of the 3 finalists, 2 are Tanzanian companies. That's a big gap for our country. The point is, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. We shouldn't give up. We should learn from those who started before us. We don't have to evolve. Yeah, we have got to be radical in our approach. We'll also get there. The important thing is we have the basis. As I was saying, the optic fiber network is the foundation for innovation in the country. Because if we didn't have that, many things would not have been possible. So we have done that. And as I was saying, when we first were doing the nationwide optic fiber network to connect to the CCOM, and then of course after that within SADC, we came up with what we call SC. The SC, another submarine cable that was taking care of the eastern coast. What I had instructed the people in TTCL was that the first thing you do is go to the borders. Before we distribute the network internally, go to the border with Uganda, go to the border with Rwanda, go to the border with Burundi, with Zambia, with Malawi, with Kenya. And then after that, then let's look at the nationwide. So that we also provide this facility. At that time, Uganda was thinking of going through Port Sudan. Yeah, they're going through Port Sudan, but fortunately after we connected them. And the thing that we had was that, fortunately, our power utility company was using the optic fiber in their pylons. So we said, as we are building this one, we also leverage that so as we can move fast to the borders. So there we are now. At least the cost of making phone calls, mobile phone has dropped so much because of the terrestrial frequency. So there are ample opportunities. There are ample opportunities. What I'm simply saying is, young people, just be innovative. Be innovative, be creative. Well, and there are these guys there who have introduced themselves, who will be there to work with us. And some of us will be there to see if we can bring more and more of these people to come and work with the young people in Tanzania and on the African continent. But I'm excited. Of the 3, 2 are Tanzanian companies. That's great. And of course, it's young people, of course. Yeah.
So thank you very much, and let me take the opportunity to thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you and to make this good contribution. As you can see, now 6 years ago it was not possible to consider something like this, but what you have done, you have laid down a very good foundation for us to leapfrog. And thank you very much, my colleagues in the panel, for your contribution. Asante sana.
Asante.